Welcome, everybody. My name is Jeff St. Laurent, and this is the Tuesday live show. I'm just getting back from a great I was going to say 4-week vacation, but it was 8 days. It feels like 4 weeks. But and that's why today's topic is about taking time away from your business. And I'm going to talk about some best practices that I've learned over the years of doing this. I've been doing this full time since 2004. And in that amount of time, I've taken time off anywhere from hours in a day to days, long weekends to longer vacations, like let's say my 8-day vacation I just got back from. So I want to talk and share about that a little bit, what I've learned, because it's an important aspect of your business, doing your business and accomplishing, creating results. There's the bigger picture to that, and taking time away and time off is a very important component of creating results, often overlooked. Anyways, we'll talk about that. I do record all of my live shows. I put them on my university at my website, sellingcoaching.com. Check those out. I got a bunch of them over there. They're great. They're detailed. I help coaches transition to a full-time business. So there's a lot of great resources on my website at sellingcoaching.com. You can start right off on the homepage. If you enter your name and email address, that's going to get you my free resource, which is an audio resource, and that's launching your coaching business, the full first 3 vital steps. So go ahead and check that out. I got a lot of other great things over there, but for right now, let's jump into talking about taking time away from your business. Like I said, I just got back from a vacation. It was awesome. It was incredible. I'm excited to get back. I'm excited to get back in a routine. Because when you're away, you're kind of out of your routine, but it's can be great as well. But I think the biggest aspects of taking time away from your business, I'm not going to go into, what are the benefits of taking time away? I think we all understand the benefits of it. But I'll share this. When we're starting off our business, I work with a lot of coaches who are starting their business off. And they're in those beginning stages. You could be in your first 3, 4, 5 years, people I'm working with and beyond. It still can feel like you're in the beginning stages. With that being said, one of the biggest things about time off, not necessarily a vacation, is, and that's why I jumped into this topic today, talking about, hey, it could be a few hours away from your business to a day or a few days or a long weekend or an actual long or legit vacation. Sometimes my clients, they're not going on vacation, but they take a week off from their business. They need to get away from it. Sometimes it becomes overwhelming. Sometimes you're too caught up in the results. You need a little break, etc. So that's why I titled this Taking Time Away from Your Business, not necessarily going on vacation, but they can be one and the same. So I want you to be careful and honest with yourself about what it is that you're feeling and experiencing as to why you might need time away from your business. As much as it's a vital component, your business, like anything, requires consistency in terms of attention to your clients, if you have any existing off, or especially in the beginning, to getting your business going and keeping it going. Oftentimes, I've felt and I find or have found over the years that anytime I take any time away from my business, especially in the earlier years when I didn't have as many, or especially or starting off many, if any, clients, or not many people in my audience, so to speak, in my email community that's maybe following me on social media, any time away I would take from my business, I would often feel like there's no one there, or everything, if anything I've done prior to that is kind of like all for naught, because it seems like there's no one out there. There's no one watching. There's no one listening. Whether I took a day off, a week off, a month off, a year off, no one would care because no one's there. And oftentimes when we take some time away from our business, earlier on especially, and even later on, I remember doing this for years sometimes, I feel like if I would feel, and I did feel when I took time off, but I would feel if I took time off that I'd be starting over. Or when I took time away, that when I was coming back, I was starting over. And even coming back now, sometimes I'm like, oh my God, like even coming back now, I'm like, granted, I have a bunch of clients and people that I'm working with, so I'm interacting with there. But then oftentimes I'm like, well, who else is out there? My Facebook group or in my email community, like, oh, they've all forgotten about me, or, you know what I mean? There's no one there. The realities I've learned is, even if it's a day, a couple days, a week, that's like a blip in anyone's world. No one knows you're gone, right? I wrote an email this morning that says I'm back. I bet you the vast majority of people, that, especially the people that aren't working with me closely, they had no clue that I was gone in the first place. And so we have to remember that, if there's any inhibitions from getting away from a business or going away from a business for a certain amount of time, like I said, for a vacation or just because you need a little bit of space, I always tell my clients this, like, no, not to be offensive, but no one cares. And no one's following you that closely where they care that much. That's just the harsh reality of it all. Now it's time to get back and to do some things. But remember this, when we take time away from our business, have it be for the right reasons. Have it be intentional. These are, when I talk about best practices, these are the pieces. It's the intentional time away. Why am I taking time away? Well, I took time away for a vacation, okay? But why do I take time away from my business, be it hours or days? Like every weekend, I take time away from my business. Yes, I'll check emails. Yes, I'll respond to some clients. Not with the type of urgency I do during the week. Like during the week, I'm churning it out. The client gets back to me, like my first actual opportunity to get back to them within a 24-hour period. It's usually a lot sooner than that, but I'm getting back to them. Whereas on the weekend, I might check a client email, might scan it real quick to see if there's any urgency to it. If I've got some time, I'll answer it. But it's not like I'm doing it necessarily always when I see it right away, right? So on the weekends, that's built-in time away from my business. If you're a student of mine, you'll know I talk about office hours, right? The time in, but also the time away. The time away is just as important as the time we come in, right? That's planned time away from your business. So I'm trying to show you this is a broader topic than just, a vacation, right? We've got to have that planned time away. But with that planned time away, for whatever it is, on a weekend or a day or for a few hours, maybe you're in your office and you're frustrated and whatever, I've had times where I've been in my office, I had stuff I planned to do, but I wasn't in the headspace, I was frustrated, etc. It wasn't something that needed or had to be done in that time frame. And I'm like, why would I just sit there? Because I've done that. I would just sit there for the rest of the day and I would just waste 2, 3, 4, 5 hours and then feel even worse and frustrated because I didn't get done what I was supposed to get done, but then I didn't get anything else accomplished that I could have if I just walked away from it for an hour or two, or maybe even for the rest of the day. I could have enjoyed myself. I could have done some other things in my life, either for fun or for task, like grocery shopping or clean the house, or anything. But I didn't get anything done. Whereas now I've learned if I'm getting that time space, I'll take, or that headspace, I might take an hour off. I might take away, and maybe I'll stop for the rest of the day for my business and I'll go be productive somewhere else. So I can feel fulfilled. I can feel satisfied because a value of mine is each day I must feel productive. I'm not saying this is for you. I'm saying learn yourself and what you need and what you require on a daily basis so you can finish your day feeling fulfilled and purposeful in and out of your business. You can still get that same fulfillment of purposefulness and fulfillment outside of your business. And very often, if not all the time, that carries over back into your business or vice versa. If I'm feeling productive in my business, that energy and that fulfillment can carry over into my personal life because then there's not like a wall when I leave my office. It's like I leave there and anything I've accomplished doesn't translate. Vice versa, when my personal world is going well, etc., and I'm feeling productive, when I cross that door into my office, that translates, right? We've got to understand that. So taking time away, I want it to be intentional in terms of what is it that I'm accomplishing and how will that translate to my business. So even my vacation that I took, I was gone for 8 days, how will that translate into my business? And we've got to think not just in a positive manner, but in a negative manner as well. If I'm just labeling positive and negatives, how will that translate, right? So how will my taking 8 days away from my business translate back when I come back, like today's my first day back? How's that going to translate? What are the positive aspects about it? In other words, me being gone, not having to do, the tasks that I've required of me on a daily, weekly basis. What is my intention while I'm gone in terms of what are my needs, in terms of what I value? How am I feeling productive on a vacation? right? And sometimes being productive is, for me, is not doing anything, and that's productive, you know? But also, how is that going to impact my business coming back, right? So how do I set myself up for success? This is some of the stuff I do with my clients when I work with them, because inevitably they take time away from their business, like I said, vacation or otherwise, but especially if it's a longer time away, like a vacation, etc. Well, what's it going to be like when you come back, right? So how do I set myself up for success with my clients? So maybe on a daily basis, my clients, multiple clients are emailing me all day asking me questions, right? So I manage that when I do that now, but how do I manage that when I go away? You know? And so we've got to set that up properly. And if you don't have any clients right now, then that's not a big deal. But futuristically, that's one thing. If you're going away for any time more than a day, etc., or it's not just a normal weekend thing, it's setting up proper expectations. Interesting that I found this week over the last 8 days, none of my clients emailed me. I've got quite a few clients in groups and one-on-one. No one emailed me. Like, no one. I set up an auto vacation responder thing, so I don't know how that helped, etc., but like no one emailed me. So they respected it. But and that just didn't happen by accident, because I've been on vacations before and I had a whole bunch of emails. And it was funny because I'm so conditioned in my normal routine to be checking my email any free moment I have to make, I love a clean inbox. So I want all my clients served and answered as soon as I possibly can. So any free moment, I'm just checking my email. Are there any questions, etc. And same thing, not as much as I do here, but every now and then, when I was on vacation, beginning, end of the day type of thing, am I just, I'll just check it real quick, or we're just waiting here, I'll just check it real quick. There was nothing. And it was actually cool, but I set that expectation up for myself, for my clients, and so it worked. And the interesting thing was, Tuesday morning comes along today, and I just got a bunch of emails from a bunch of clients like, Jeff, and I asked for them. I said, hey, on Tuesday the 31st, update me on what's going on. I'll be back. And even yesterday I sent it to my groups. I said, hey, I'm coming back. Give me an update. We get our calls this week, etc. Let me know where you're at. So I get a bunch of emails, right? So I started to go through them this morning, right? So it's setting yourself up for success so you can shield yourself for what your intention is while you're out of your office, whether it be for a week, whether it be for a smaller amount of time, etc. Also the intentions of, like I said, how is this going to impact my business, impact me? Because knowing that it translates both ways, right? The energy, positive or negative, high or low for my business translates to what's happening outside in my personal world and vice versa. So I want to make sure that whatever's happening there as I go on away from out of my business, when I come back, understanding the negative impacts, understanding the positive impacts, and how can I begin to manage that. And some of that stuff we don't know as we're starting that off. That's why I'm trying to share some of those things with you right now. But I think the biggest thing is going into it with intention, because the biggest thing is when you're going away from your business for any amount of time, you want to make sure and when you're getting back at it. And you also want to make sure you're not abusing the time away aspect of it. And this is a big thing that I want to wrap up on today and close with is we're entrepreneurs. And the often the allure of becoming an entrepreneur and being your own boss is, well, I can make my own hours. I can work if I want to work, and if I don't want to work, I don't have to work. I would say that's a very inaccurate thought of what an entrepreneur is and should be. We have that ability, yes. And we've just got to understand when we can utilize that luxury and when we must be disciplined to stay the course, so to speak. Oftentimes early on, it's very easy to, well, something's going on in my life and I will sacrifice my business because it's not a business yet, right? It's just starting off. I'm months or even I'm a year into it, right? And I've done things, I haven't done things, and I would say like it's the newborn baby thing. It's like when it's your first or you get your first puppy, it's like, oh, it wasn't in your life prior to then. You didn't have that time for that. You had your world and your time was already filled. And now you've got this additional thing, all right? We'll call it your business, right? A child, a puppy, or whatever. And it's just like, well, a child or a puppy, you can't really neglect them too long or you're going to hear it. As my puppies are off in the background, right? Barking. But your business, you can neglect the heck out of it as long as you want it, as much as you want, and it just doesn't care because no one's there. And so it's very easy to just forget about it for the day, for the hour, for the week, and that becomes more and more time away from it. And so that's why I close with this is whatever time we have away from our business, we must make sure always, but especially in the beginning, that that's not abused, that we honor our time in our business. We know when we're getting back to our business. We have an intention of what's going to happen, what we're going to accomplish when we return. I was very focused this morning in terms of when I was in my office and what I was accomplishing prior to any calls or this show, etc. And then afterwards to make sure that by the end of the day, I'll give you my intention. By the end of the day today, Tuesday, I wanted to feel back into routine in terms of business-wise. All my clients have at least been communicated with, groups and one-on-ones. We've had an email communication where we feel settled and we're on track, or we have a plan to get on track. Any emails or things like that are caught up. Shows like this, everything's accomplished. My personal emails in terms of my business are getting done. And then obviously personal-wise, some other items like unpacking and getting the house settled, etc. by the end of the day, so I could feel like I can be on a normal routine, right? So I'm just sharing with you, that's like my vision, and then my action plans for the days and for the day and the hours I had outside of client time or time like this that's kind of already scheduled in, like a show like this, is what am I doing in that time frame, right? So I can, those are the activities that will achieve the result. And as I'm going through my day, I'm already starting to feel like, oh yes, get that done, get that done, get that done. And I'm feeling more accomplished and productive and fulfilled as I serve my clients, do the things that are required of me. And that's the best thing that you can do, is you can have that intention, and it's a very intentional piece that you have with your business as you move forward. And so if you're taking an hour away from your business or the rest of the day away from your business because my son needs to go to the emergency room and get stitches, or right, or like an emergency like that, or I'm just frustrated and I'm not focused today, or it's a beautiful day outside, or whatever else is coming at you, before you just give up that time, just take a moment and do it with intention. And coach yourself a little bit and ask, well, if I give this up, what are the ramifications, positive and negative? There's always the pluses and minuses. And obviously the positives are the positives, right? But anything that's falling, let's say in the sake of this conversation, more on the negative side, the catabolic side, then let's look at it and go like, all right, well, how do I fix that? How do I erase that? How do I turn that into opportunity so that it doesn't mean we can avoid everything? Yet I've found, especially with time away from business, we can often look at that and go, well, what are some of the potential negative effects, and how can I hedge those, etc., or plan for those so that it's a lot more, if not all positive or anabolic, or it builds you up. And so it recharges you so you come back stronger. Oftentimes when there is time away from a business, there's the, oh, I need a vacation from the vacation, right? There's the exhaustion. And of course, you can certainly have that. Yet it's how do we channel that into something that fuels us versus applies the brakes to us. And so that's my main message today is having that intention behind any time away, and making sure you're understanding and how it's impacting you as you return, and setting yourself up for success while you're away, whether it be shorter amount of time or a longer amount of time, so that it works to your advantage and to everybody else's advantage that's dealing with you in your business. So hopefully this has been helpful for you all. Thanks to those of you that are watching live. It's always appreciative if you want to write something in the comments. Oh, I see Sandra Newton is there, one of my great clients. Good to have you. Say hello. Any thoughts you have, questions or comments, I always will get back to those as they come in, even if it's after the live show. But anyways, I appreciate you all. Lots of good stuff coming in. We're coming into September. Believe it or not, it's coming into the last quarter of the year, which is crazy. I mean, not quite yet, but over this next month. So things start moving this time of year. So I'm looking forward to helping you as you move forward with your business. If you are in a position where you know you need some help and you want some help structuring your business and getting this thing going, especially as we're approaching, sliding down towards the close of 2021. Yes, I'm saying that now on August 31st. Let me know how I can help you as your mentor coach. Visit sellingcoaching.com, fill out the form at the bottom of the work with me page. I'll give you a call, we'll follow up and decide where to go from there.